will be granted shortly. Please stand by.
It's Friday. It's 8 o'clock. It's the Monte Zone.
Yeah! Whoop, 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 whoop. It's Friday.
It's Friday. I've got my glass of red wine. It's the weekend. I'm on holiday. I'm on summer holiday. It's all good.
Oh, you lucky man. I've still got work in the morning.
You're nearly there, G.
But then I'm on holiday.
Yeah, you're nearly there. So,
evening straight off to Mickey, to Dan M, to Kevin. Thank you for joining us. Kevin's like, yeah, come on.
Come on.
Yeah. And thanks for the sound check. Yeah, I was trying to give Monty the thumbs up, but he wasn't. Well, he kind of looked like he was staring at me, but he wasn't. He was looking at his screen.
I was.
And I was trying to go, the sound is fine. The sound is fine.
Yeah, it's weird. I monitor it just to check that we're coming through loud and clear, and for some reason my phone's not has not got any sound on it. I don't know why. But there you go. Never mind. I won't worry about it.
Have you got your silence button on or something?
No, well, it says it's on max, but I don't know.
But if your silence button's on the side,
I don't. It's a Samsung. It doesn't have a silence button.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Oh, okay.
Like living in the dark ages.
Yeah. Oh, slumming it with the Samsungs and not your Apples.
Slumming it with the Samsung.
Yeah.
So how are you, Monty?
I'm very good, thanks. Yeah, week's been, the TNG review show on Wednesday was great. We had a lot of fun.
Really good.
I
enjoyed that show.
Yeah, it's had the most views in week views that any TNG show review has had. So it's over 60 views. So I'm quite pleased about that.
I got to say it. That's thanks to data. You know what I mean?
Data's bringing it.
Data brings the people, it brings the crowds. He's a
Yeah.
crowd pleaser.
He's a crowd pleaser.
And there was a few people obsessing about Data that evening.
Yeah.
A little bit too hard, I would say, attracting some unwanted attention.
It was getting a little uncomfortable at certain points.
Yeah.
But
well, Kevin says, "Well done, Monty."
Yeah, thanks.
Obviously, yeah. It was a good show. Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
It was good fun. But tonight we've got fun because tonight we've got several topics. We're going to start off with some ancient anomalies.
No, we're starting with your astronomy.
Oh, starting off with astronomy, then ancient anomalies, and then real or fake. Everyone's favorite quiz is back, and I'm not going to get competitive about it this week. It's fine if I lose. I lose. If I lose, I lose. I'm not going to get competitive about it.
It's relatively much easier this week. It's not as hard as some of them have been.
Right. I believe you. Who in chat believes?
It's true. I've not been as tricky as I usually am. So yeah, I do know. Like, thanks for Dan M for joining, because I do know that he's got to get to bed early this evening.
Oh, is
he?
He's
got a flight. He's got a very early flight in the morning. I don't know whether I should say where he's going, but he's got a very early flight, so he's gonna be joining us, I think, for the first hour of the show, and then might have to go to bed.
Yeah, I know. Mickey's off to Greece tomorrow, so good luck to all you people that are going to exotic places.
So unfair. All these people going to exotic places on holiday, and I've got to go to work tomorrow.
I know. It's not fair, is it, G?
The world is just so unfair.
It's unfair. Yeah. I visited you in work today, didn't I? That surprised you, didn't it?
Yes, it did.
So who's that stranger?
I did shock me.
You show me around.
Yeah.
It's very cool. Very cool. His alarm set for 3 a.m. Oh, crumbs.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, I get it now.
Yeah. Mickey's just wondering which day of his holiday he's going to contract COVID. Is it going to be the first day there?
Will he even get onto the flight, because they'll test him at the airport and he's got it already?
Yeah.
No, we wish you luck. Fingers crossed for you, Mickey. Hope it's all good and you get to lap it up in... Did you say Greece?
Greece, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. You going anywhere nice, Kevin, or are you just like us? Got to stay here in the UK?
I'm going to sunny Cornwall.
To make the most of it. Nice. Yeah, so it's a good week all round then, I guess, then, Monte, yeah?
Yeah, good week all round. Tonight I've got Stew Plum's homemade red wine. So,
nice.
Mm-hmm. Which is very nice.
Sounds good. I've got my normal typical
Coke.
Stuff because, yeah. Well, let's not brand it. Not getting paid for advertising.
All right.
Not just yet.
The cola that is of the Coke variety.
That comes from the plant.
It does. So should we start with James Webb? So since our last vault, James Webb Telescope has released its first set of images. This is of interest to us because we're always on the look for extraterrestrial life, and hopefully the James Webb Telescope is going to be a tool that could unlock the first indications of life out there. So, I thought, oh, hi Dee, good evening to you. So I thought we'd have a quick look at what James Webb Telescope can do, because we've been talking about it for so long. It's watched it sail out there to the Lagrange point, but what is it actually produced, and how does it compare to what Hubble produced? And what has some of the data set told us so far? So, yeah, I'm not gonna go on about it loads, but just a quick look. Some of you might have seen the pictures.
I'm dead interested to see what this looks like. As Kevin says in chat, seeing the pictures look amazing from the James Webb Telescope. So anything that helps us investigate space better and with more clarity is a good thing, right?
Yeah. So I think I'm using NBC News here. They produced a nice little like scale, like a slide So if I just make it so that they're full screen. So this is a Hubble view of what they call the cosmic cliffs of the Carina Nebula. And this is using the Hubble uses optical light. So this is kind of what we see with our eyeballs. The James Webb Telescope uses infrared light. And so then they can produce an image using what they get in infrared. So it means they can see through the dust clouds and things. So where Hubble saw that, James Webb Telescope saw this. So that's the James Webb Telescope. You can instantly tell a James Webb Telescope image from the 6 points of light coming off of nearby stars, and that's because of the shape of the mirror segments. I
mean, it's strange looking at it as a bit of a layman that I don't know a great deal about not astronomy per se, but like the use of telescopes is not something that I've ever done. But both pictures actually look almost like artistic in a way. Like when you look at those stars and the way they're drawn, it's almost like artistically done, almost like somebody's painting it, which I find a bit peculiar. But yeah, it's really interesting.
It's interesting to see what structures it shows in the clouds and just how many stars we see inside the clouds. If you look at, say, this area here, where this knobble it sticks out in the clouds there, you can see literally hundreds of stars. With the with Hubble here, like we in that gas cloud, we don't see any stars. It's just a dark gas cloud. And here we see literally hundreds of stars in that one area. So we're literally finding thousands and thousands of stars that we never knew existed. So that's one of the powers.
What's
of
really
the James
interesting, if you can pull the Hubble picture back over again, when you look at the actual, what I presume is they're calling the cliffs, because you mentioned this is called the cosmic cliffs, all the kind of like little stars in there, and I guess the stars up above are all the same color, like they look pink to my eye.
Yeah.
But then when you pull back to the other picture, they're all different colors.
Yeah, you got
like
purples
purple,
and yellows and pinks and
So that's interesting because I guess that's sort of indicating maybe a sort of different atmospheric construct to the planet, to the star, to the moon, or whatever that you see.
Yeah. This next one is the dying star. It's the Southern Ring Nebula. So this is the Hubble view of the Southern Ring Nebula, and this is the James Webb Telescope view.
Wow!
You can see all the structures in the gas. There's also a couple of different versions of this where you can really see that this is a binary star system. There's 2 stars, the one that went nova and a secondary star. So if I leave it half and half there, look, you can see the difference. I mean, I think the Hubble telescope view is beautiful. The Hubble images are beautiful, but there's so much more data in the James Webb view.
Kevin's mentioned in chat about it can look back to further in time. Am I right?
Yes. Yeah, we're gonna have a little look at that next up, I think. Oh no, not quite. Stephen's quintet is an interesting one. So this is a quintet of galaxies. Actually, this galaxy here is actually closer to us. These are all further away and interacting with each other. But especially this slightly closer one. Look at how many stars you can see in this galaxy in the James Webb Telescope view. Like,
jeez Louise.
You can actually make out like
you can actually make them out
individual stars in that galaxy. Yeah.
Wow, it's just almost a totally different picture.
And it's just looking at everything in the background. everything, all these dots you see, apart from the ones with the spikes coming out of them, which is local stars, everything else is all galaxies.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
Mickey says that with all them stars, there has to remain the possibility of some cool aliens. And yeah, I guess that's been the view for a while now. That with all this, I guess as well. The thing is, what we commonly would think that would determine life is based around our own view of what we think is life, and I guess there could be lots of more different types of life out there.
But you look at the blackness here, and then the difference between what Hubble could see and what James Webb can see, And this is the one where it really shows how far back in time you're looking. So this is looking really far back. This is why in the optical range with Hubble here, everything's like orange and reds, because these things are so far away. The light coming for them as the universe has expanded, it stretched that light and shifted it into a red shift. It's like the Doppler effect in sound. When an ambulance is coming towards you, it's like a high pitched neener, and then as it's going away, it turns to a low pitched neener, neener, that sort of thing. That's like the Doppler effect, because as it's going away from you, that sound is being stretched. And in light, it does the same thing, and that lower tone is in red. So that's why everything looks red. And then if you look at this image with the James Webb.
So this is the time one, right?
Well, this is looking back in time. And what it does is, it's a combination of James Webb and these bright white things in the middle are super dense galaxies that create a lot of gravity, which is gravitational lensed the galaxies behind them. So these galaxies here that are all stretched are actually behind this galaxy globule here, but the light is bent around, so they're a lot further back in time. But some of these you can't quite see them in this. I'd have to really zoom in. But you see this like red thing over here where my mouse is?
Yeah.
Like that is a galaxy that's around 13.8 billion light years away. Like at the creation of the universe. And it's like an example of like one of the first galaxies that were ever created. And now for the first time we can properly see these things. With Hubble, it's so far away and so redshifted you can't really see it. But with James Webb Telescope's infrared, you can see it.
So those ones that are just by the way in chat, Mickey asked how long has Hubble been up there versus the James Webb Telescope. So I guess because James Webb is pretty recent, right? So how long has Hubble been up there?
Hubble's been up there, I think, since the late 90s. It's been up there for a good 20 years or so. Yeah, I think.
Right, and how long's the James Webb one been up?
A year.
Like a year.
Yeah, it's literally just come online.
And Kevin's just asked. Good questions coming through, by the way, guys. Is Hubble no good now? Is it decommissioned, or are they still going to use it?
No, Hubble's just still... The Hubble mission's just been extended. It's still one of the best optical telescopes we've got. And what we can do is we can use Hubble as like the finder. So whilst James Webb Telescope's doing its science on something in particular, they can use Hubble to look around the sky to find interesting things that they then might want the James Webb Telescope to then zoom in on. So they're going to be using both Hubble and James Webb Telescope in tandem. But Hubble is still an amazing telescope and is still going to be around, I think, for quite a number of years to come, as long as it's serviceable. And it's going to get to a point where it's like it's got fuel on board for positioning when they need to position it, and eventually the fuel's going to run out and service missions are going to be too expensive, so they'll decommission it and bring it into the atmosphere. So its days are numbered. It's not going to be up there a lot longer, but James Webb Telescope doesn't automatically make Hubble obsolete. Hubble's still a fantastic tool.
Cool. Evening, Mazza. So I was just going to ask, sorry. Basically, you mentioned the ones in the middle, the sort of bright white ones that are in the middle there. What did you say about them again?
This is a cluster of supermassive galaxies which create a lot of gravity. So you can see all the other galaxies around them are all arcing in a circle, because these galaxies are actually behind these, like directly behind them, but the light is being bent around these galaxies, and we're seeing them. So you see these two galaxies here, these are actually the same galaxy. And you see these two galaxies here, these are actually the same galaxy. It's just as these two different galaxies are bending light in different directions, we're seeing this galaxy multiplied.
I just thought it was very interesting that those two galaxies look so much brighter than anything else on the screen, and maybe it's this gravity effect that you're talking about that makes the light seem so bright. But is there any sort of science behind where these other galaxies are stretching out on the? Again, I don't know if it's a photographic thing, but where they're stretching out, would there be a possibility that time would pass differently in these galaxies, or is it just a byproduct of the photo?
It's a byproduct of, I mean, if you could see this with your own eyes, this is what it would look like.
Right.
But it's just the product of gravity bending light. I would imagine maybe time does go slightly differently if these galaxies are like that big. But these white galaxies here are white because they're a lot closer to us than these orange ones in the background. You got to remember that we're looking through a three-dimensional space here, and they're all at different distances. The stars with the spikes coming off them are like really super close. The white blobby galaxies are like in the mid-distance, and then all the orange and red things are like super far away.
And then you've just got that one whacking bright light in the middle.
Yeah, that's like a nearby star. That one. But yeah,
like
it's interesting.
Star with an attitude out of all of the rest of them. It's like the Papa star. Kevin says you know your stuff, Monty, and he scored you 100. So, well done.
As well as those pictures, James Webb Telescope also provided this data set, which is the first time that we've used James Webb Telescope to look through the atmosphere of a planet. So this is the planet, does it say here? Yes, WASP 96b, which is a gas giant. It's about half the mass of Jupiter. But so what we can do is when a planet passes in front of its host star, when that star's light goes through the atmosphere, we can look at that light, and from the spectrum we can see what gases that light filtered through. And that's what this is. And what it shows us is what we would expect to see if that planet contained water. So we know from the analysis of the data that James Webb Telescope told us about this gas giant that it not only has water, but it has a hazy atmosphere that contains clouds. And that's something we didn't know about this planet. We suspected it would because of its size and its proximity to its host star. But this is the first time we've actually used James Webb Telescope to correlate what an actual atmosphere of a planet looks like with our own instruments. So this is not as gloriously looking as the actual images. This data set is probably more important than the pictures that we saw.
Yeah, well, definitely in the search for planets with the, I guess the Goldilocks conditions, and like you say, being able to trace the water. Yeah, that's a really important component.
This is
although
having
said that, there's still some research that's going on some planets where the water's below the surface, and they think that they might discover certain things that are below the surface.
Yeah, WASP not the best name. I think there's a telescope called WASP, or there's some sort of survey device called WASP, and so this is like the 96th thing WASP found. So if you go and look up other planets, a lot of them are called WASP, like, I don't know, 93 or 87, or they're named after the device that found it. So that's why it's called WASP.
Very cool.
Anyway, there you go. So if anything comes up with James Webb Telescope in the future, I'll let you guys know. If we find little green men, if we find, what would be great is if we looked at one of these super Earths, and in the atmosphere, in the spectrography from the light coming off of it, if we saw like hydrocarbons or CFCs, the kind of gases and things that only industry makes, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
When we see that sort of thing in atmospheres, that's when we're going to go like, woo,
It's weird. I just realised that when I put my glass in my face just went.
No, it didn't. You're all right.
Oh, no. Yeah.
You're looking like a ghost.
My face disappeared then. Very cool. Yeah. It's certainly gonna as I say, help for that search for potential
one
places
little,
and
I don't know if there's one little thing I don't know if you did hear that the James Webb Telescope got damaged.
Yes, I think it was Mickey or it was Kevin mentioned it early in chat and said, was that the one that got hit by space debris?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, one of the mirrors, and it was like, I don't know, the space debris that hit it was like, I don't know, it was like a thousandth of a millimeter or something, but it has punched quite a sizable hole in one of the mirrors. But because of the way the telescope works, it's not actually impeded its function at all. But
you can imagine there was probably a lot of very cross people sitting in. Was this a NASA sponsored project?
Yeah.
So it's probably a lot, because this thing's probably worth billions of pounds, right? So we get it up there and then it gets smacked with the pieces.
They knew it would get hit by debris over time. They completely expected that, but they didn't think it would get hit by debris literally like as soon as it was out there, that it would be literally hit straight away by something. I don't know if it took that debris with it but this is just the size of the damage on the mirror. There you go. It's that white. They took a waveform of an image of the mirrors so they could see the damage, and that white bit there, that is the bit that's damaged. So it is quite a sizable,
Judging from the picture that you're showing, it looks like that section of mirror is 59 millimeters, right? The whole thing. Or is it saying that the piece of damage is 59 millimeters? It's about half a centimeter.
I don't know. I don't know what that means. No, I don't know. But anyway, that's it. That's the damage. That's where it is in the mirror, if anybody was interested. There we go.
No, yeah, it's very cool. Good evening, Smiler.
Hey, good evening. She's just been out shopping.
I can't say Smiler without sounding like a Jenna.
Smiler. Right, my lover?
Right, my Smiler. Right, my lover. I've gone all West Country, I have. Cool. Thanks for sharing that with us, Monty, and being a wealth of knowledge, as usual, on astronomical
stuff and things.
Updates. Yeah. I was at the beginning of the show, but I guess I can just drop it in now. I was going to chat and talk a little bit about a new project that I'm working on. And I haven't really talked about it. I think that there's some in chat that might know about it, but I've decided to do a new YouTube channel. It's called Bigfoot Sasquatch Investigations. And that doesn't mean that I'm sort of leaving the vault. In fact, the vault remains my primary focus. It's just that there's two main reasons really why I wanted to set this channel up, and that was because I didn't want. I've become really interested in the Bigfoot Sasquatch phenomena, and I want to delve into it a lot more, but I didn't feel that it would be right to saturate the vault with just episode after episode about Bigfoot, because I think we pride ourselves and enjoy the fact that we cover all sorts of paranormal, from like hauntings to UFOs to cryptozoology. So I didn't want to saturate the vault with just Bigfoot content. However, I won't be doing as much content for this new channel as I will for the vault, obviously. But I feel that the content that I do upload will be carry so much more weight. I'm just, if you don't mind, I was just going to play a little bit of a trailer that I did for the channel.
Do it.
Haven't really promoted it at all. I think there's, after Monte subscribed tonight, there's 9 subscribers.
Would it be better if I played it? Is it the one on your channel?
No, I've got a different version.
Oh, okay. All right, that's right then.
Yeah. So
I just know what you're uploading. That's like.
Well, it should be fine.
It'll be fine.
I think it's just coming to you now to add to stream.
Oh, it went straight there. It's a great logo.
There you go.
Epic music.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know how to remove that from stream now.
There you go. I've got rid of it.
It's gone.
Oh,
yeah, so basically the main difference about this channel, or what I'm aiming to achieve from this channel, firstly, you'll have noticed that I've set up an email account, and
in Yahoo.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't even know that was still a thing. You learn something new every day.
Well, it is. So, please, use the email. But it's going to be a hard task to reach out to the right areas. But I basically want it to be global. So I want people to contact me, even if they've got stories about like Yowie or the Almasty in Russia. Basically what I want this channel to be is, and if that content doesn't come and those people don't email me, then I won't use content, because I'm not going to be discussing or investigating other people's content that they've shared. I want to share content firsthand, or stories that have been sent in to me firsthand from people that have had encounters. But also the channel's going to be about purely like a research and investigation channel. So it's going to be very much about data driven. So one of the things that I've recently done is I've joined a lot of it can be done for an app, but it's called the Bigfoot Mapping Project. So it's a live app where you basically get uploads from genuine documented reports that have been reported to either like park rangers or to local government, like in and around the States. But also, like, for example, just to give a bit of a flavor, one of the first things that I'm probably going to work on is like an arc of episodes, which are going to be called Pioneers of Bigfoot. So episodes that are talking about people who have pioneered the phenomenon, like Dr. Jeff Meldrum, who's the guy from like four like scientific PhD backgrounds, who's like really interested in researching, you know, Bigfoot and feels that there's some value in the research. So people like him, and hopefully along the way, I might be able to get some of those people on as guests or interview them pre sort of episode, etc., and share that with you guys. So like I would love to interview someone like Justin from Mountain Beast Mysteries from Alberta in Canada, and just people who have pioneered my interest in the subject as well. So that little mini series is going to be called Pioneers of Bigfoot. So, you know, there'll be one episode about Bob Gimlin in there and stuff like that. So it's going to be very much about the research and being data driven, and not so much just about taking video footage that's been dropped on social media or photographs and talking about them as much.
So documentary style. Yeah. Very nice. I'm excited about it. I have to say, I'm excited to see what you do. Yeah, it's going to be good.
Yeah. Thank you. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Yeah, if anybody's got any questions or anything else they want to know about it, just let us know in chat.
Yeah, and please subscribe, obviously. We'll put a link
subscribe,
in the description if it's not already in there.
There's not a link in the description at the moment, but our link will be going in there later on. I can
But
tell you,
as to say, to round off, to sort of round off that G-Star, please don't anybody feel that you know, I'm going to be taking any sort of back step. You know,
he's leaving us basically. He's leaving us. He's going.
Not at all. Not at all. Never.
He's off. There you go.
Enjoy my story times too much in the vaults.
There's a link in chat. Click on that link. Go to the channel. Hit the subscribe button, and you're going to be set for all the Bigfoot and Sasquatch content you'll ever want, you'll ever need.
Yeah, and as I said, I'm really interested in delving into, you know, there's lots of other different phenomena around wild men. So, you know, I mentioned some earlier, you know, there's the whole skunk ape, Yeti, you know, there's lots of stuff to talk about, and other stuff, I guess, that will be connected to things like skeletons and, you know, because there's one that came out the other day where they supposedly found the skull of a Bigfoot, and you know, Dr. Jeff Meldrum and a lot of people instantly, you know, proved that it was a skull of a gorilla. But this guy claimed that he found it somewhere that possibly he didn't. But, you know, there's things like that going on. And the other reason why I've felt compelled to do this as well, I forgot to mention, is because in the Bigfoot community, there's a very weird thing going on at the moment, where a lot of the phenomena is being saturated by people who I could only describe as a bit crazy. And so on like a lot of these groups that I'm part of, there's just a lot of people that are, you know, getting into them and just uploading lots of ridiculous stuff, which is really weakening, I think, the phenomena, the subject, the research. And it's even splitting up things like, you know, Team Thinker Funker, which I've been part of that group for a very long time, and it was a really good group and still is a really good group, but it's still being saturated a lot by some of these people that are just uploading what I would consider very, very strange stuff and stuff that shows you nothing. So that's definitely not the kind of content that we'll be covering on BFSI.
Well, congratulations.
Sure.
BFSI is into double figures. We're up to 11.
Wow.
So
excellent.
We've hit double figures.
I will be uploading some content soon. There is a short on there, but that doesn't really represent. That's just me having a little bit of fun. But yeah, the content will be mostly what I just kind of covered, really.
Oh, 12 subscribers. 12. Yeah.
Whoa, rocking it.
Your 10 subscriber play button will be on its way.
Can't wait. So I best, and some other stuff that I want to talk about that's really cool. Okay, so some of you may or may not have seen my recent apology video, as I kind of penned it.
Yeah. Like you needed to apologize.
Yeah, well, I did think that there was actual necessity for me to do that episode, right? Because, you know, if there's misinformation out there, then I've got to address that, because one of the things that I said quite heavily in that in the original episode was that there's no details to this footage. There's no details. So I can't let that stand. So I had to correct myself. But actually, do you know what? I came away from that whole thing feeling quite proud of the fact that a lot of what I was saying has kind of been heavily covered by a lot of experts in the field. And a lot of the things that I came to guess, like I said, I think there's a couple of guys in this footage, you can hear them, I think they're young. And then it turns out that they are actually students, and they are like young males, like 19-year-old. And, I sort of picked that up from the sort of audio and the voice, which I guess isn't hard to do. But, but the main thing that I'm kind of proud of is that, yeah, there's a lot of people that I consider experts in their field that did the analysis in the exact same way. Like, I'm a big fan of Thinker Thunker, but not even I had watched the video that he had done of a breakdown of that footage, which, by the way, if you haven't seen the video, is from Provo Canyon in Utah. And he did that back in 2013. And so that was long before I became interested in the subject and interested in him. So I'd never seen the episode, but now I have. And his breakdown of the footage and what he shows is almost exactly the same as what what I did, which without even knowing that. So I came away pretty proud about that. But there's another thing that's not to do with that episode that I'm pretty proud of, right? So take you back to my Bigfoot special. Now, here, this will test you, Monty, to see whether you watched it all. Can you remember the piece of footage that I featured in that I was discussing after the section where I was talking about tips and tricks and how to look at certain footage and photographs and stuff? I played some footage from a channel called MVTV, and I basically really went to town on basically saying it's a load of trash and it shouldn't be getting the traffic that it's getting, etc. Can you remember that?
Yeah.
Actually, now, if you go back to that video on our channel, I've edited and updated the description because my research didn't stop. I continued looking out, and I actually now have found a complete debunk to that footage. And it actually was from a test screen for a film that they were making that was called... what's it called? If I find the video, it's got it in the description. The film's called Big Hans Little Ben or something like that, and they were doing basically test screening for it. Now, it's originally shot in color. One of the things that I went heavily on about in the video is the fact that why would it be black and white? If it's filmed recently, why would it be black and white? Because it's not night vision. So it's not filmed at night. It's filmed during the day. So why would it be black and white? I've got the actual... Can everybody remember the video that I'm talking about? Let me know in chat if you can, because I've got it on standby to play if you want me to play it. Shall I play it, Monty?
Play it.
I'll share it. Hold on. Video file. I need to just push the bar on because it's not at the very beginning of the episode. Got some other. This one?
Letters from the Big Man.
Yeah, Letters from the Big Man. So it was filmed from and it obviously in the video that I found, it references the costume designer and everything, but it was this one, and I basically said this isn't shot at nighttime, so why is it in black and white? Now, a lot of people, especially hardened skeptics, would take one look at this footage and go, do you know what? That's fake. And there's a lot of people that would sit in the middle that would just go, no, that probably looks fake to me. However, the reason why I think it's important still to investigate stuff like this, if you can stop sharing that one, Monty. I can't really work out how to get rid of these videos once I've got them in there. But the reason why I think it's important to still, like, even if you look at something and you think, oh my God, that looks like absolute rubbish, I still think to a certain point there's leverage investigating it, because that's what an open-minded skeptic is that and the reason why that's important to me is because for years and years I watched the Patterson-Gimlin footage and just thought it was ridiculous and thought it was a man in a suit. And then, I don't know, somewhere around 10 years ago, I saw the stabilized version of it and I thought, hold on a minute. what's this? This looks a little bit different. This looks, but then it didn't stick, and I didn't become interested. Then about 5 years ago, I saw a breakdown video of somebody showing that now it's stabilized some of a tip of the iceberg of some of the analysis that's been done of it and some of the evidence that's come from it. So I now, that footage has got a huge amount of evidence and nothing that can debunk it, and still has not been debunked. So if I went from one point of thinking it was fake rubbish to the point where now I can see how it stands the test of time and the test of science, then any other footage is really worth the time in kind of just checking it out a little bit more. But so I did so, and I did a bit of an analysis and a breakdown, and this is the actual, just sharing it now, this is the test screen, this is the original footage.
There it goes. I don't think it saw me.
So they even cut out the audio of it, because the version that NTV shared only had music over the top of it.
Yeah, it's surprisingly different, isn't it? But I guess that was had a lot more detail in it, and was color and HD, and it could be more easily picked apart, I guess, than, slap a filter on it, make it black and white, take the audio away, and disguise it up a little bit.
Yeah, but it's kind of cool to come across that and finally be able to go, do you know what? Yeah, it's right to put that to bed. And the reason why it got me so angry is because there were so many people out there that were really investing into it and really believing it, and really starting to talk about it in a way that it's like, oh, that actually, a lot of people, I think, just got swept away with the fact that it reminded them of the Patterson-Gimlin footage. And I think that was intentional, even in that test screen or the film, that they were trying to almost create a reenactment of Patterson-Gimlin in the best way that they could. As a bit of a homage.
What is it that was with that original footage, when you said you kind of dismissed it, but then when they brought out the image stabilized version, it made you think twice? What is it about the image stabilized version that resonates with you as something believable rather than the raw footage?
Because I featured it in the special. I showed the original footage, then I showed the stabilized footage. And the reason why I think it's important to do that is because when you show the raw original footage that's not stabilized, it's all over the shop. So you don't get to see much of Patty itself walking. And therefore your eye gets thrown here, there, everywhere. It kind of makes it feel like, because a lot of people would naturally think somebody that's trying to hoax would do that just to kind of make it harder to see what's going on. So the fact that once it was stabilized, it was easier able to be analyzed by a lot of people. That originally the whole reason why it was stabilized was because people trying to debunk it. It wasn't people that were trying to prove that it was real that stabilized it. It was people that were trying to debunk it. And when they did, they were like, hold on a minute. This looks a little bit more hard to just explain away, because there's easy things that you can see about it. I mean, once it was stabilized, you could really focus on the muscular sort of shape of the body and the outline, which again is one thing that just couldn't be possible in 1967 for a means of a costume. So you then step away from that man in a suit. So again, I just think you can go on a journey where you can just look at this. And for me, the biggest thing that I would want to always keep away from is either being a hardened skeptic on a point of view, or completely and obsessively open-minded, where I'll just believe anything that's put in front of me. There's a place to sit in the middle where you go, hold on. And the thing is, in the recent episode that I did about the Provo, what turned out to be the Provo Canyon footage from Utah, there's a lot of people in both the short and the main episode that commented on that, saying, oh, it's just a bear, it's just a bear. And then my argument is, if you're just going to say it's a bear, prove it, or at least give some justification to why you're saying it's bear. Because if we've got to say it's Sasquatch or it's Bigfoot, you would turn around and say, well, prove it
Hmm.
and show us some evidence that weighs that way. So I don't like the people that just scream out fake. I don't think there's anything wrong in them thinking it's that fake, but
It could
give some
be,
justification.
or it could not be.
Yeah. But it's like, you know, I looked at that footage, you know, straight away, not the Patterson Gimlin one, the other one that we were just showing. And, you know, I just thought, you know what, the instant thing that's wrong about this is the fact that it's in black and white. That the whole story is that was filmed in 2021. If it was filmed in 2021, why is the footage in black and white?
You'd want the absolute best footage you could possibly ever get, so that you could be the, you know, the primo, you know, finally the person that put the idea to rest. You wouldn't go, oh, well, let's apply this Instagram filter. No.
Yeah.
No, that's not the way people would think.
So I just wanted to share those updates with you regarding a couple of vaults and the subject of Bigfoot, because I was quite proud of that. And I updated, as I said, the description on the video to show that.
I'm wrong with that. People probably would. Let's get an Instagram filter on it. And that is probably what people would do, knowing human beings. Sorry.
Yeah, but
Just contradicting myself.
to me, it seemed that filter had been on to sort of make it look more effective, you know?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people get some people out there are very susceptible. And even if you put something in black and white, they'll naturally think it's a lot older for some reason. You know, their brain just tells them this is old. And, you know, it's not. So, and therefore it shouldn't be black and white. So anyway, so that was that. So, yeah. So, and thank you for the support and those that have subscribed. Should we go on to the Ancient Anomalies, or shall we play Real or Fake?
Well, I
yeah,
think
let's
so.
leave Real or Fake to last.
Let's leave Real or Fake to last, then we can sit back and have some fun at the end. Let's get on to our main topic of tonight.
Not that this isn't going to be fun, but you know,
I'm sure it is.
Right,
it's always fun.
I'm just gonna. Oh no, hold on. I need to open it first. Bear with me, guys. So basically, what I've done is I've picked. So I told Monte offline. I had a whole article which this whole subject was coming from about ancient anomalies. It was I only skimmed over it because the reason why I only skimmed over it is because with a lot of the stuff on the Monte Zone now, I like to look at it almost with you guys at the same time and you know, discuss it and consider it at the same time without having looked into it. So it's kind of like we're discovering it together, as I would say. So I'd only skimmed over it, but I thought, damn, this looks interesting. I want to bring this to the next Monte Zone. And then last night I just went, right, I think I probably need to go and look at it and pick out the key points from it, you know, for discussion points. And where I'd saved it and bookmarked it, it has disappeared off the internet. Now, I'm not going to create a conspiracy theory about why it's disappeared. It could be any number of reasons. It could be like they used a picture that was copyrighted or mentioned somebody's name that didn't authorize it or whatever. But it's disappeared, right? And it was a really interesting article. So I had to adapt and improvise. But I found some really, really good stuff to discuss tonight. And this is all bits that basically archaeologists and scientists still can't explain. So it's a bit like the pyramids of Giza, right? If somebody says to you that they know how they were built or who built them, they're basically outright lying to you, because science, archaeology still can't define those full answers. Like even recently, certain myths around the pyramids of Giza about the fact that it was, you know, it's been a very popular myth, and I think probably there's still a lot of people today that believe it to be true, that the pyramids were built by hundreds of thousands of slaves, whereas that's been sort of, you know, disproven, because in any of the texts, papyrus, hieroglyphs, whatever, there's no mention of slaves. Slavery wasn't a thing, or at least wasn't depicted in any of their literature that there was slavery. So that's kind of, you know, but anyway, getting off the point of that, that's just a good example. And these are 4 things which still are keeping scientists really mystified, I guess would be the right word.
I know what
Because
that
there's
is.
certain things that they can't.
That's the Nazca
So
lines. I know.
Yes,
I
it
know
is
the
the Nazca
Nazca
lines,
lines.
or some people call them the Nazca drawings. Now, definitively, they have something otherworldly about them. They were discovered in 1930, and they were initially discovered because there was 2 new commercial airlines or lines that flew over it, and they basically saw these, and they cover 450 square kilometers, and some measure more than 200 meters in length. They depict lines, geometric figures, animals, and basically figures that we haven't entirely figured out yet. So some of the figures they can't even basically describe. Many believe them to be constellations. Whether made for the gods or for some other reason, it's obvious that they weren't meant to be. They were meant to be seen from the sky. Scientists have had trouble trying to figure out how they could have been designed and created without somebody directing the work from above. And we can only marvel at these amazing figures and continue to wonder how and why they were created by the people called the Nazca. I've got another image from 2 seconds.
There's like there's like pictures of humans and a cat and a spider and a monkey and also like a chameleon like thing. There's all sorts of things, and there's also just like lots and lots of lines, like so many lines, and big thick lines and thin lines, and also you can see the lines there. There's like a big eagle like thing.
Yeah. But some of the animals on it. So here's the curiosity, or some of the curiosity. Yes, you're right, Kevin. There's an alien as well, or what they consider to be an alien, or looks like an alien. But yeah, some of the animals in it around the period of time, because these Nazca were around between, I believe, 100 minus 100 BC and then up to about 300 CE. Obviously, this is based in South America, right? Yeah, I did say that, didn't I?
It's Peru,
and,
isn't it? Peru.
Yeah, Peru. And some of the animals that are depicted in some of these drawings wouldn't have been around in that ecosystem around that time. So that's another curiosity. So it almost gives a sense that the people that drew these had traveled to other places where there was, a different ecosystem or different species of animal that wouldn't have frequented where they lived. So lots of different mysteries about these Nazca lines. So let us know in chat what you think they're all about and what influenced the Nazca people to do this. I mean, it could obviously be something that they just decided. I mean, it was a lot earlier than the Nazca that a lot of Aboriginal tribal societies had god entities that they worshipped, etc. So it's not out of the realms of possibility that they were just trying to talk to their gods, as I mentioned earlier. But again, it's something that if you've never been up in the sky, certainly not that high, how would you know how to plan that drawing? Because we can conceptualize that now, because you could go, right, I could go on a beach and draw a massive eagle, not a problem. But that's because most of us have probably been in a plane or seen video footage from a plane. We know what size you would have to do it to be seen from that distance. I mean, conceptually, if you hadn't flown or been to any level of height, which wasn't plausible back then how would you know how big to make it? I don't know. It's crazy.
Just in case anybody's interested, shall I just... Do
you want to share some other pictures?
Well, I was just going to say, so this is Peru. Here we are in South America. If you zoom in on Peru, around here, This is where they are. Like, you see all these lines? Literally like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of straight lines. This is the Nazca lines. And I just want to point out, rather depressingly, they built the Pan American Highway straight over the top of it. You can see like this thick line here. It's a part of the line. They just built the highway straight through it, destroying goodness knows what. I mean, there's a spiral, and there's these beautiful shapes. If you want to see the spider, there's even this is as far as I can zoom in, but you can just make out the spider there.
Yeah.
And look at the size of this one, the thickness with these weird like triangular shapes coming off of it. And yeah, they just built the Pan America Highway straight through it.
Lovely. That's modern man for you.
That's modern man for you, isn't it? They could have gone around these mountains, or gone to the south, but no, they went straight through the Nazca lines, rather typically. But yeah, that's where it is. Anyway, I like my going to where it is on the map. Anyway.
But I just love that it's. I mean, when you talk about the dates of this happening, as I said, I think it was around not that long ago, about 2,200 years ago, that it's believed that this happened, but still there was no flight, there was no flying there, and what I love is the fact that scientists are still stumped by, one, how did they do it, and two, why did they do it?
And they found more. Just recently, they found several more slightly further away into the mountains. They found a whole load more. They're finding more all the time. But why would they spend so much time and effort creating things that you just can't see? Unless you have a satellite or a jet. It's very strange.
And again, you could say, well, they're doing it for the gods, but like you've pointed out, there's so much variety of different things that they did that from a behavioral point of view, that wouldn't connect also. Because, they've done some animals, they've done some lines, they've done some shapes, they've done some, it's like...
I found the bird, or the condor. There it is. So, yeah.
But a mystery to science and archaeology. So I think that's a tick box for that one, right?
Yeah, it's fascinating. I've often gone here on Google Earth and looked at them and marveled. I'd love to go there. Not that you can really see it, but just go on a plane and actually fly over them. That'd be great.
Now, the next one that I'm going to share, I'm going to be a bit lazy, and I'm going to do it from a video which I've taken, which is only short, I think. But basically, what would you think about a nuclear reactor that's 1.8 to 2 billion years old? Check this out.
Wow, don't know quite what to say about that one.
It's a weird one, right?
Yeah.
Smiler said she thought I was going to be talking about the sun, but then she said chat, and I don't know what chat means. She wants us to talk about it? I don't know.
Oh, did chat disappear? Did I make chat disappear?
Is chat gone?
I don't know. Should be there.
All right.
Sorry
I'm
if I...
seeing it.
all right. It should be all right. I got one thing. I got
Go
jewels, they're multiplying. No. Yeah. Okay, so he said like water needed to be more pure, right? Than it would be in its natural environment. But, right, just thinking about it, like 2 billion years ago was before like lots of creatures existed. Like there wasn't really anything on the planet back then. The water hasn't reacted with the minerals on the planet, so hasn't developed its salinity and its impurities yet, because it's literally just melted straight off the comets and whatnot that bombarded the planet. So water back then is going to be a lot purer than what it is now. So maybe that could account for it. Just thinking off the top of my head. And I'm not a scientist. I don't know. But I'm thinking back 2 billion or 1.82 billion years. Like, I know like 2.4 billion years, for whatever reason, the planet lost pretty much its entire oxygen due to some sort of event. And then, so basically, like nothing was living yet, apart from maybe single-celled organisms. The planet was very new.
But, you know, it's good that it's got your brain ticking over, because, you know, I think that's the thing. That's the main crux of it, that at the moment they can't explain it. You know, they can add many different theories in, like you're trying to instantly think about things that might connect the dots. But ultimately, to split those ores like that is usually, you know, perceived as a man-made and very tricky and complex process. Whereas now they found evidence that it's happened in, you know, possibly natural form, or obviously some would think that that gives evidence that maybe there was an ancient civilization, because, you know, when
2 billion years ago.
This is the thing, because I was reading a thing the other day where a lot of people fall into the trap that when people start talking about an ancient civilization, they think, well, we're talking about a few hundred thousand years ago. But actually, what you could be talking about is billions of years ago.
Yeah, but life hadn't really gotten started on this planet yet then.
As far as science you know, because the conditions were different back then on the planet. Like, yes, it might have been mostly molten lava rock, but we don't know what would define the 100% total right environment for intelligent life.
No.
You know, intelligent life could grow up in heats
right.
of 3,000 plus. Do you know what I mean? It's like we've got evidence that there's creatures in some of the you know, at the bottoms of the ocean where there's volcanic things that come out where the water's like, you know, 600 degrees plus, and there's still things living inside that
maybe they
alive,
maybe they got to that nuclear stage, and around 2 billion years ago there was a massive nuclear war, and that's what wiped out all the oxygen in the planet. Because we know that all the oxygen disappeared overnight for some reason.
The thing is, it's one of those things, isn't it, that even for scientists and archaeologists, when you start going back that far, it's a lot of it becomes theory, a lot of it becomes hypothesis, because, you know, it is almost in a lot of areas impossible to kind of prove, because everything that far back has kind of been, you know, terminated and gone to particles of dust long time ago. So, but yeah, it's an interesting one which just has got scientists stumped, and yeah, that's why it's not so much a ancient anomaly, I would say, but well, I suppose it is because it's just a geological
Well,
anomaly.
that's
I guess.
beyond ancient, isn't it? That's yeah. I don't know what the term for it would be.
Mm. Well, there you
Prehistoric.
go.
Prehistoric anomaly.
Well, I mean, it dates well back before the dinosaurs as well, so you know.
Prehistoric. I don't know. I don't know.
I'm just trying to find the picture for the next one, or I've got a number of different pictures. I just want to use the best one to start off with. So,
What are your thoughts, guys? Let us know in chat. I want to know what people think
please
about
do.
this. I'm interested to know what people think.
So,
you're finding your next picture.
Did that come up? No, it didn't. Yeah, just gonna get to the next picture. So you might have heard about this one, Monty, being the well-studied fellow that you are, but this one is called the Göbekli Tepe in Turkey.
I know all about Göbekli Tepe and the T-pillars.
So tell us about it then, Monty.
So the tepes in Turkey is a series of ancient sites where it looks like they were mostly, what we found so far are mostly ceremonial grounds, but we're now starting to uncover living areas as well. But they're circular enclosures with at the center of them a series of what they call T-pillars, which are sort of megalithic stones with wide tops, and a couple of large like sarsen stones in the middle, and they're engraved with reliefs of various things. But they found wells there, they found water systems, they found all sorts of pottery. But this is very much when humans were still in their hunter-gatherer stage. There's no signs of really like, what do you call it, like farming and that sort of thing. This is sorry, not pottery. They didn't find a lot of pottery actually here. They did at the later levels, but this is pre-pottery. They found a lot of stone bowls, stone flints, stone tools. Pre-pottery hunter-gatherers.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see on that bit of stone there in the sort of center right that you can see almost like something chiseled into it. It looks like a lizard or something. Can you see that? Do you want me to zoom in on it, or can you see it?
Can you zoom in?
I can try.
There's one stone in particular in Göbekli Tepe that they
should be in the center of the screen.
You
now.
can see it there.
It's
like a lizard. Yeah.
Yeah, so you hit the nail on the head there, Monty. So I did say you're a well-studied fellow. There you go. So this basically, as archaeologists and science understands it in general rule, is that Homo sapien didn't start using the most rudimentary tools until 14,000 years ago, or that's what the general gist of archaeology tells us.
Yeah.
Whereas the ruins and this monument in Turkey has been predated to, I think, 16,000 years ago or 16,500 years ago. So 2,500 years earlier than when any previous archaeological evidence has shown that we were users of tools. And something that also propped up, I haven't got a photograph of it, but as I was looking into this, sort of came onto another connecting article, and there's this archaeologist that's recently found, not in Turkey, somewhere else, a skeleton of a hand that is about, again, around 18,000 years old. And the bone shows a sort of like kind of indent or a shape that would indicate that it was posable and that it was used to hold things that would have been generated by it holding onto tools. So the use of tools within, Homo sapiens could be a lot older than what we think. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that say, well, going back to this I don't want to try and even attempt to say the name again, but this monument in Turkey, it basically, a lot of people say, well, the stones and the walls around it could have been made by hand and lifting up and placing them, but that doesn't explain all these shaped sort of monolithic pillars or stones or other things that they found in the area that show that they could have only been made by the use of tools.
This is the most famous T-pillar at Göbekli Tepe. It shows what they think are the three main enclosures of Göbekli Tepe, and each one at the top has a different animal on it. So we think that they were like temples devoted to animal cults or something like that. There's like these birds, and down here we can see a scorpion, and I think here is a snake. But it's really ornate, and from around, as you say, around 15,000 years ago, which is just incredible, really.
Yeah, and I've got another picture which is going to be interesting, which is a conceptual picture of what like archaeologists, etc., think it would have looked like in its heyday. I don't know if that's come up on the screen already. So this is like a conceptual, but obviously it shows that they would have had to use certain, and you know, Kevin said in chat that they must have been more intelligent than hunter-gatherers. But again, history, any archaeological finds haven't really explained a race or a people that were more intelligent than other hunter-gatherers on the planet. And that's
just our term. That's just our term for them, because there is a lot of like in the domestic areas around the edges of Göbekli Tepe, they found like stoves or like fire pits, and in that they found like animal bones and things, but they've not found any evidence of like breads or tools and foods that are associated with farming. And so that was the sort of next stage of development with humans creating cities and things, was domesticating cattle and creating farms. It looks like the tools and things these people had, they were still very much nomadic hunter-gatherers that would gather at places like Göbekli Tepe at certain times of year for festivals and things. This image actually, G, has been summarily debunked as being anything like realistic. They think that actually it was a lot more busier than this. These things were in the middle, but there were all sorts of things around the outside, all sorts of buildings and things. And they think the T-pillars, all these T-pillars, were designed this way because they supported possibly a wooden or thatched roof. Which is why in this picture here, and they think these are the enclosures, they've got these domes and then entranceways, because these domes supposedly portray the roofs, because they're very pleased with their roof technology. So but they're learning all the time, you see. That's a theory. That's a theory. It's not been definitely proven yet.
Yeah, and there's a lot of, again, you know, as I said, what this whole subject was, mysteries and anomalies in archaeology that still have a lot of questions, and people from, you know, the sciences and experts scratching their head.
Well, Kevin,
that's an interesting one.
Kevin says, interesting. Yeah, that area of Turkey was where humans supposedly started farming, and instead of always hunting and moving. And I think that could be right. But also in the Levant, in like Iraq, you know, you had the what do you call them? The forgotten the names. But in that area, you had two civilizations farming and them advancing outwards. And I think they got the idea of, oh, this is how civilization should be. And eventually we got evidence that all these things were were buried on purpose. We only just have recently found them because the cultures that there purposely buried it all because I think they've moved on.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong in chat, or correct me if I'm wrong, Monty, if you know. But I can't remember what I was going to say now. There was the picture that you were talking about. Where have I gone?
I don't know.
That's just flown right out of my head. That's
gone,
that's
isn't
age
it?
starting to show through.
Yeah, should we go to
It's
Göbekli Tepe while you're getting your thoughts in order?
Oh no, that was it. You just reminded me.
Yeah.
Reminded me. I've got to say it now before I forget it
Okay.
again. Wasn't it recently that it came up as a very strong possibility that Troy, the city of Troy, was in Turkey?
It is in
cover
Turkey.
that on an episode?
Yeah, it's been found. It is in Turkey.
So
yeah.
I think that's quite interesting, because Troy was meant to be, this really kind of much more advanced and civilized, city or civilization in that time. And it's weird that this is in the same region and locale as this.
Yeah, I think
that we're talking about.
Troy's up here somewhere. And
I know it was on a coast somewhere.
Yeah, Troy's up here near towards Istanbul somewhere, I think. And Göbekli Tepe, you look at this, you see this green square here. If you just go to the north of that green square, Göbekli Tepe is here. It's all been shrouded in now. It's an undercover, and there are walkways, but you can still see how the archaeology is now creeping out from that area. But now,
it's very interesting.
This whole area is they've given it a name because there are others. There are others like there's a place up here. There's a place. I don't know where the others are, but there's a whole load of them, and they all look very similar. But there's like about 8 of them all dotted around this area, all like Göbekli Tepe, with the same circles and the same T-pillars. And the Göbekli Tepe is not the only one. It's the centerpiece in a whole culture, I guess. It's very interesting.
Very cool, but I just think it's a very, archaeology sometimes can be just so interesting, and it can, and the study of it can create more questions than answers sometimes, or at least raise and pose new questions, which they're finding all the time, which is just so cool. So the last one that I've got to share, basically, this one is called
Sumerians. That's what I was thinking earlier.
Yeah, Sumerians.
I think.
Why is it not coming up on my... Oh, I must have collapsed it already. That was silly. I just opened it. Zoomed it already. So I was ready to go. And then it's gone and disappeared on me.
You can find it. We've got faith in you.
I've got it. I've got it. There it is. Right, this one's called the Guatemala Stone Head. There's a bit of an interesting story behind this one. So the Guatemala Stonehead was found in the 1930s by some explorers in the middle of the Guatemala jungle. Interestingly, the facial features of the statue do not resemble Maya or any previously known civilizations that would be in that area. The statue had an elongated cranium, which was unique and had never been discovered before. And according to researchers, the statue is a depiction of an ancient alien civilization that existed in pre-Hispanic America and was more advanced than the people living there currently. One thing to point out is just that it had this really large up-pointing nose, very thin lips.
Yeah, it looks sort of Caucasian.
Yes,
because the statues in Guatemala at that time, they had very flat noses and big lips, and they were very flat, square heads, weren't they? I think.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Now, supposedly this picture's taken in 1930, and it is, if you delve into this story a little bit, there is a bit of a passage where I think then it got forgotten in time. So they often call this the the forgotten statue or something, because it wasn't until then, about the 1970s, I think. Don't quote me, I could be wrong, but it then sort of, this photograph landed in somebody's hands who was a scientist and wanted to go out and explore it, etc., etc. Then it sort of passed hands around, but when they got back there, because a lot of areas of Guatemala, they've gone through a lot of civil war and a lot of, basically warring. It was when they eventually got there and could get in to find it, it'd been really heavily damaged, and they described the damage worse than what was on the Sphinx. If you see the Sphinx and how it's had its nose like completely removed off until I think they did a reconstruct on it or something. But anyway, it was so badly damaged by the time they got in it that this now falls into, for some people, a hoax, because actually, I don't think at this point it can be found, or it's gone like, it's not being studied any further. And if you go into the Guatemalan jungle, which is obviously even today still very difficult to do because civil war still rages there, and it's still a very dangerous place to go.
An expedition went in 2018 to try to locate it, and nothing could be found.
I can't hear you, Monte. You've muted yourself.
Sorry, someone's making tea, and there's a kettle boiling, so I thought I'd mute my... But no, a quick search. They launched an expedition in 2018 to see if they could find the head, but nothing could be found. No.
Yeah, but there was an expedition where they said that they stated that they went there and found that it was quite heavily damaged and destroyed. And that was also a scientist that made that journey, or a journalist or a scientist, I can't remember which. But
yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame.
To round off.
That's such a shame that we didn't get any more information about it, and it'll, basically it's one of those things where no one will ever know.
Yeah. What I think needs to happen is somebody needs to find that original photo and be able to test it to see whether it stands up to the age that it's meant to be. That would answer a lot of questions, I think. Let us know in chat what you think. Yeah. Oh, they should just look for a car, says Mickey, because there was a guy in the picture. But yeah, that was a good... Well, I guess that picture was meant to be taken in the 1950s or something.
I guess so. Looking at that car, it looked kind of like...
So it'd be
40s.
Rusted. So there you go. Let us know in chat what you thought of those interesting, mysterious and things that are still leaving archaeologists and scientists scratching their head, and very hard for them to comment on or fully give a definitive explanation. Let us know in chat what you think. Right, so we get on with real and fake.
My favourite part of the show. Or least favourite part of the show, if you give us stupid questions.
Everybody in chat ready to play real or fake?
Let us know.
Let us know in chat if you're ready.
Are you ready for this?
Is
there anybody out there to play?
Real or fake? Yeah. This week's real or fake is basically headlines. Real or fake news headlines.
Right.
Now, I do have some visuals to go with it, but the visuals are just inspirational. The visuals are not taken from like the articles themselves. It's simply to inspire and bring context to the subject. So let's start with number one, shall we?
Mickey's ready for the stress to begin.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if Maz is still with us. Maz is usually a very competitive one on this one. But I have Google checked all of these to be 100% certain. And when I say Google check them, I mean that these are obviously real or fake headlines, right? So if I've been able to prove that the headline has appeared on the BBC or the Guardian or the New York Post, then that pretty much makes the article backed up with some heavy weight of credibility, right? So that's one of the main things, right? So I'm going to share the first image, so you can see the moon on the screen there for influence. So the first headline, let me know in chat, real or fake. NASA is installing internet on the moon. NASA is installing internet on the moon. Real or fake news headline?
Oh, that sounds plausible. I mean, why wouldn't you want to install internet on the moon? You mean for people on the moon to use the internet?
I just mean that this headline is called NASA is installing internet on the moon.
That's all you're going
I
to give
can't
us?
tell you what it's for.
Oh, no.
Kevin's jumped straight in with a fake. He says fake.
Oh, I prefer the pictures. Okay, so it could be in preparation, but there's nobody on the moon. What would be the point in setting up internet on the moon when there's nobody there?
Mickey says fake. Sure, they haven't been there in so long. Back to the moon.
True.
So I guess Mickey's saying, why would they be wanting to put internet on the moon?
Some people say, if ever.
Exactly. Yeah, if ever. That's a whole nother show, isn't it?
That's a whole nother show.
It, really. Some new stuff that's come up in that recently, actually.
Okay, I'm going to go fake. I'm going to go fakier than fakiness.
Everybody's gone fake, right? So Kevin's gone fake. Mickey's gone fake.
Monte's
Monty's gone fake. I think Maz has left us. Smiler, have you got a real or fake?
Smiler was just making herself a cup of tea, so I don't think she's at her computer at the moment.
And I mean, obviously, play fairly, guys. You know, I'm more than happy after I give the answer. If you're really frustrated and stressed out and you want to Google it, by all means, but don't Google it before you give your answer. That's not the way to play the game. Enjoy it for the sense of what.
Oh, it's going to
really
be
the core
true,
of
isn't
real
it?
or fake.
It's going to be true, isn't it? I just know it.
This one, NASA is installing internet on the moon. Sorry, guys, I win this round. This one is real.
But why? Why would they install internet on the moon?
Because what they're planning to do is they're planning to position a load of robotic kind of rovers, like miniature rovers, all on the moon, so that they can fully map the moon properly, and they just want to control them remotely.
Hang on.
Which they can do by using Wi-Fi.
Okay, right. Yeah, this story this is a headline from Newsround from CBBC.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Trusted
BBC.
Trusted news source, CBBC Newsround.
It doesn't just come from CBBC Newsround.
Yes, it does. But okay.
It's real.
It's real because CBBC says it's real.
It's still BBC. You know BBC would let it go out.
It's got BBC on
real.
it, I suppose. NASA's installing 4G mobile network on the moon.
There you go.
CBBC.
It's a real story. Sorry. The stress has already begun, hasn't it?
Well, it wasn't a reputable news agency. You can't say Newsround is like a...
Newsround, it was always good for me when I was growing up. I had no problem in believing Newsround. There's no reason to question Newsround now.
Hasn't got, what's his name from Country Files. What's he called? John Craven. It hasn't got John Craven on it anymore. So.
Yeah, well, would you ever doubt John Craven if he was still about? Doing this show? Would you doubt poor John? Right. Next picture is up. Next headline. Real or fake, guys? Let us know in chat. 8-year-old girl pulls a medieval sword from a lake.
Well, that could be
8-year-old
real.
girl pulls a medieval sword from a lake.
If it was like maybe in mud on the edge of a lake.
Just like in the story of King
girl
Arthur.
Found it.
It's Guinevere. And she pulled a medieval sword from the lake.
It's just so random, it's got to be true.
Well, don't check Newsround site, whatever you do.
Did you get this from Newsround as well?
I got this one from NTV. Kevin's gone true. Mickey's gone true.
I've gone true.
Still no injection from Smiler.
I still think we all got the first one right.
No, you didn't.
I think we did.
You didn't.
I think they're with me on this.
They're not with you.
Oh,
they're nowhere
Smiler's
with you.
gone fake. Smiler's gone fake.
Smiler's gone fake.
She's
No
gone rebel.
8-year-old girl. Would you like to know the girl's name?
Does it matter? Oh, go on then. Tell me it's Guinevere.
Saga.
Oh. So it's not in like Western country then. It's probably a lake. Maybe a dried up lake in Turkey or something. Or Iran.
Well, I'll put you out of your misery.
Go on then.
So
Is
this
she
one
Klingon?
is, if you said true, give yourself 10 Monte Zone points, because yeah, it's true.
Get on, lads. We got one.
Yeah,
Sorry, Smiler.
there you go. Reported by the BBC and the Guardian. There's a video that you can actually watch featuring Sagar. She's from Norway. You can even see the picture of the sword that she pulls out. Quite impressive, considering it's been sat in the bottom of a lake for over 1,000 years. And it looks a bit weird, bent, but you know, the fact it just goes to show you the swordmanship.
Very cool.
I did it.
That's a cool looking sword.
I think it was in the summer. There was a drought, so the lake level was really, really low. So they think that she wouldn't have stumbled upon it if that hadn't been the case. But it was in the middle of summer. She was wading out in the water and felt something that she thought was a branch on her leg, and then picked it up, and it was a 1,500-year-old sword.
Yeah. Oh,
found in a lake in Sweden.
Mazam Bob said real as well. Yeah.
Yeah, which kind of went real question mark, which I've told her before. Question mark is not an answer, it's question.
No,
is it real? I don't know.
That's good enough for me.
But this one was real. So 10 Monte Zone points for Monty, Mickey, and Kevin, Maz, and just nothing at the moment for Smiler. But keep listening. Plenty of time to catch up.
I'm waiting for that
what's
sort
the
of, what's it,
next one?
National Enquirer headline. My baby is an alien or something.
There's none of them, to be honest with you. You're going to struggle if you're waiting for that.
Oh.
There's none of them. They just get more difficult from here on in. No, of course, I am just joking. I wouldn't be that mean. They get
You
easier
said it was going to be
from
easy
here on in.
today. You did. You said this is
Yeah,
going
well,
to
it
be
is. It is. It's easy, right? So have a look at this picture. Okay, so the headline. Oh, I've used the wrong one, but never mind. A couple from California named their baby with emoji. So their baby's name is an emoji. A couple from California named their baby with an emoji.
I'm going to say...
No, she didn't get...
Go on.
I'm just going to answer Mickey's question. She didn't get to keep it. It now is featured in a museum close to that lake. Yeah, it's displayed there. So, no, she didn't get to keep it. But, I mean, I think it needs to be under special to stop any further degradation to it. Yeah, it needs to be under special conditions. So... Kevin's gone California, so true.
Yeah,
so
I just
true.
said if this was like Texas, it would be false. But California, I go true because they're kind of like.
So Mickey's gone true as well, I think. Yeah. Kevin's gone true. Monty's gone true. Mickey said some weird people about. They are probably quite partial of the weed, also of the Hobbit weed. Sticketh with the false, says Smiler. She's going fake. So, everybody locked in? Have we still got Mazza? Is she on board with the question marks? She's going to go real question mark. I don't know, is it? I don't know, yeah. Going to count down from 5, 5, 4, 3. A couple from California named their baby
Real.
with
She says
emoji.
real.
It's gone real.
It's gone real.
Smiler has just caught up with everybody because it's fake, guys. It's utterly fake. So, Smiler, give yourself 10 Monty points. That puts everybody level pegging now. Which is nice, isn't it, right? It's nice when everybody's level pegging.
Well, it sounds like something that was possible.
It does sound like something that's possible, yeah. That's the trick of the game. It's the trick of the game. Right, next one, right? This was the one that I was meant to do next, and brought up the wrong picture, but there you go. Just an influential typo there. So the headline for this one is, a university banned the use of capital letters to avoid scaring students. So obviously in reports or emails or communications to students, the university banned the use of capital letters to avoid scaring students.
Oh dear. It sounds like it could be true, but I'm going to go false on this. I mean, it does, at universities, you can't get proper punctuation and understand, like,
well, don't you think the world has gone
critical
PC?
critical text without using capital letters? Like, you need to emphasis and things. It's got to be false. Even in America, even in California, or Portland, this has got to be false. I can't imagine this. It sounds like it could be true. If it's true, I'm going to. Oh, Maz has just caught up.
Maz didn't realise that her feed had gone 4 minutes ago.
Oh yeah, you're gonna click that like.
I was having that problem the other night and kept missing questions. I was like, "What was the question? What was the question?" I could see that people were trying to answer. What was the question?
There's a little live button. Make sure the live button's clicked. Yep.
Smiler says, cannot spend the whole of primary and secondary school teaching this for it to be thrown out. Surely not. So
you got to imagine that we're
Mickey,
probably talking a certain
Mickey,
demographic in America here. So
yeah. So Mickey, you're going false. Well, it says university. It doesn't state what country it's from.
It's going to be America,
right? So
isn't it?
A university banned the use of capital letters. So I'm presuming Mickey's gone false because he said better be false. Smiler's gone false.
False.
I think Kevin's gone probably true.
Yeah, Kevin went true.
Monte, you're going false.
Yeah.
And Mazza, what are you
true.
going?
She said true.
Did she? Or is my chat? Where am I going? Right. So anyway, yeah, this one.
I think
if you said that it was fake, then yeah, I'm really sorry, but you've just got an extra 10 points, and you are now on 20 Monty Zone points. So yeah, it was fake.
Woo! Yeah,
so
I mean,
if you said true, unfortunately, no points for you.
Where did you get this from, though? Where did you get that from?
What?
The idea of that story, where did you get it from? If it doesn't exist, did you just think about it off the top of your own head?
Yeah.
I can't believe that.
Am I not good at these?
No, there must be a website.
There must be an app, right?
There must be an app for this. That was too good.
Okay, well, they get better.
Maz didn't answer. That was the last answer. I think she didn't. She's not with it. Never mind. Okay. Oh, crying face.
This is a nice story that kind of reminds me of something special in my youth. Here goes the picture. Okay, so the headline for this one is German street is covered in chocolate after a leak from a chocolate factory.
Smiler will be right in there first in chat. What's the name of the street?
So a German street is covered in chocolate after a leak from a chocolate factory.
Guess it could be true. I mean, it'd have to be one hell of a leak to cover an entire street. That would have to be more like an explosion, like a chocolate explosion.
A chocolate accident, a chocolate catastrophe. Think about the fact that what would a chocolate factory look like, and if it had problems with its chocolate making machinery.
I know what a chocolate. I know
chocolate spilling out onto a street.
Yeah, I know exactly what a chocolate factory looks like. I've seen one in a documentary, and it had a river of chocolate in it. So,
yeah, Willy Wonka's. Willy Wonka's.
So if that I was thinking Mr. Beast video, but no.
Smiler's just gone online and bought tickets to Germany.
Yeah.
I'm going there to eat that street.
Hell, I'm going to go true on this one. I think it's an
You're
exaggeration.
just copying Kevin, aren't you?
No,
You're just copying Kevin.
I answered differently to Kevin in the last round. But no, I just think it's true. I think it's an exaggeration. I think probably of what actually happened, but I'd imagine it would actually be a storyline.
Well, it's not really an exaggeration. It just says German street is covered in chocolate after a leak from a chocolate factory.
Well, it's not. It's probably got chocolate in the street. It's not actually covered in it. I don't know.
Mickey said true, Willy Wonka's factory.
Yeah.
Kevin said true. You're saying true. And
Smiler hopes it's true.
Smiler is hoping that it's true,
So
or it is true.
that's
Mazza
true.
says it's true.
I think we've all gone true. It's the
You're
true
gone
show.
True. I'm trying to be generous tonight, and almost, I want you guys to be able to get Monte Zone points, but you have to get them right to be able to get the Monte Zone points. And fortunately, on this occasion, you've all got it right, so you've got 10 Monte Zone points. This one was true.
Do we actually have the story? I don't know. What was the title of it?
Well, yeah. So the real factory was in Westernen, which is spelled Westonnen, and they had a malfunction or something there, and the chocolate spilt out covering the pavement outside of the factory. So that's where a lot of people were licking pavement.
Look at that. Look at that pavement. Hey, Maz, look at that.
Who's it reported by?
The Guardian. This is the Guardian.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, theirs is a slightly different byline. Chaos. And the chocolate factory as leak smothers German street.
It's weird Mickey's just said that, because I was just thinking to myself, that was really spooky. I was just thinking, Christ, I could really deal with a dairy milk bar. And not just any chocolate bar. I was literally thinking dairy milk bar. I think we have some sort of psychic connection, Mickey.
Imagine you could slide along or roll in it there, just rolling chocolate.
Yeah. Just get it all over your clothes and go home and just spend the evening licking your clothes.
Oh yeah, clothes. Yes. Good point.
What?
Oh dear.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So let's line up the next one.
Snow angels in chocolate. Chocolate angels.
So, yeah, everybody got that right. It was true. Okay. Let's get that next picture up. Up on screen.
Yeah.
There we go.
Got some spinach.
This headline. Yeah. Spinach is taught how to send emails. Spinach is taught how to send emails. I'm just going to keep saying it if it's going to make you laugh every time I say it.
Spinach is taught how to send emails.
Send emails. Real or fake?
Oh, that clever spinach.
Clever spinach.
My mum always said it was brain food, but I didn't realise it was like
Kevin's got madness, fake. Madness, fake.
Have you ever watched the animations on Netflix called Love, Death and Robots?
No.
They're great. It's like an anthology of different little mini films. They're only 10 minutes long, and they're all animations, like little movies. But there's one about the yogurt and how this yogurt that was grown in a lab to be super intelligent basically ends up taking over the entire world, and we all end up having to bow down to our yogurt overlords. So it made me think of that, about like spinach sending emails. Yeah.
So we've got gotta be fake from Mazza. Kevin's gone, gee, you've been watching the BBC again. Smiler says the iron in spinach pops Popeye's muscles. Maybe it could hit a space bar to send an email. And Mickey says, true, it's become able to communicate with other leaves.
Yeah. It's turned over a new leaf.
So are you being genuine?
I'm
There, Mickey, and going true.
Oh yeah, is that a true from Mickey? That's bold. That's bold.
So I think everybody's pretty much gone fake, right?
I'm going fake. I've got to go fake. Mickey's gone true.
Smiler's gone true.
Smiler's gone true. Oh, I now think she might have Googled it because she's coming with a late true. I want to change to true.
Well, you can't.
No, I'm not changing it. I'm not changing it. I'm fake. Go on. Tell me. Give me the bad news.
Okay, so if Mickey, if Smiler has Googled it, I would recommend anybody Google it, but it's true. I don't even understand it myself, even when I've read the article, but apparently it's true. So Google it. Spinach is taught how to send emails.
Well, you know what I'm doing now.
You're Googling it. Yes, I know.
Of course I'm Googling. Taught send emails. What paper did you get this from?
I can't remember it.
Euronews.com.
No, I don't think.
Scientists have taught spinach to send emails. Oh. Ah. I see.
Ooh.
Okay. Yeah. Ah. So they're using spinach like a sensor, right? So if the spinach in a certain number of spinaches are suddenly like sending signals that they need more water, that triggers, because there's like a sensor, that triggers an email to say, we need more water or something. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So yeah, it's very clever. It's read by infrared cameras. So basically, the spinach is just doing what spinach is doing. It's not taught to do anything, but infrared cameras and code can tell what the spinach is feeling and then fires an email off. So misleading title at Euronews there.
Mickey says the world is mental. So I think Mickey went true, didn't he? So that was Monty's own points for Smiler and for Mickey, which I think now puts both of them on.
But
30.
it's fake.
Smiler,
it's fake
Smiler
news.
Says,
they don't
it's
teach.
not fake news.
They don't teach spinach to send emails, do they?
But it's a real or fake headline.
They've got
And it's a
sensors
headline.
and infrared cameras that send
You just
emails.
Googled it yourself, and it came up with an article. Slander there, Monty. Never thought to Google it. I'll figure all this was from G's mind. and you could modify that, Monty, to email for beer. Teach you emails to beer. Anyway, so have I got the next one lined up, ready to go? I swear they do get easier. Promise. Only two more. This one and one more to go.
2 more to go.
So this headline is: School bans parents from sports day for bad behavior.
Yeah.
Real or fake?
That sounds feasible. Have you seen schools in some of the estates around Plymouth? I mean, that could be a thing.
Let's know in chat.
Parents
real or fake?
Have you seen parents on the sidelines of a Sunday 5-a-side football league?
Yeah, I certainly have. But let us know in chat whether you think it's real or fake.
Well, it's real.
Smiley's gone true. Happens all the time. True.
I reckon true. It must be true. That
Mazza's gone true.
That has to have happened at some point.
So I think we've got everybody's answers in. Mickey's gone true. Yeah, so everybody's in. So yeah, guys, everybody gets a lovely round of 10 points there because it is true. Certain schools have had to ban parents from sports day because their parents get too competitive and too argumentative to teachers who are trying to, score the sports days, etc. So, yeah, in some schools they've been banned from attending. Naughty parents. So we come to the last one.
The last one.
Yeah. Sad, right? But don't worry, real or fake will be back next Monty Zone for sure. I can hopefully try and promise that. Okay, last picture, just to inspire. Up comes the gorilla. There we go. And the headline for this one is Gorilla Learns to Knit. Gorilla learns to knit.
I'm
true or fake?
I am going straight in with true.
Straight in with true there from Monty. 100% confidence.
I can just imagine that being true. I don't know why.
Kevin's jumped in right after you. Earlier on, he was saying great minds think alike. He's obviously got some sort of psychic connection.
Gorillas are just massively intelligent.
Massive straight
things.
there with true. Smiley's questioning me on whether it's a play on words, whether it's knit or knit, as in fleas.
Oh, well, they do knits.
No, but it's knit with a K, Smiler. Mickey's gone fake. So he's on a standalone.
You don't want a gorilla scarf, Mickey. Doesn't want a gorilla scarf.
I mean, gorillas can do sign language and communicate. Mickey, what makes you think they can't knit, Mickey?
Have you ever seen like videos of like chimpanzees like signing and?
Oh yeah. Watch that footage. It's really hard. That footage with Robin Williams and a gorilla.
Mm. Was it on this show? Was it on Monte Zone? We talked about orangutans spearfishing.
Oh, I don't know. It might have been on the very first Bigfoot one that we were talking about.
It's just that they found that there's certain like tribes of orangutans that have been watching human fishermen spearfishing, and they've developed it themselves. And now they found in jungle, I don't know where it is, but it's like could be in where's the tea come from? Sri Lanka or somewhere like that. They found these orangutans who have adopted spearfishing, and they like hang off of trees and fish with spears. Effectively, they sharpen wood and branches and spearfish. Wow. They reckon there's like populations of primates that we're forcing evolution on them from their proximity to humans.
Taking away their natural.
Yeah, because they're having to adapt to our way of life because we're everywhere and encroaching their lives. And they're like, well, beat them, Rob. You know, if you can't beat them, join them type thing. And we're literally forcing evolution upon them through our very existence.
Yeah, it's kind of sad in a way because, you know, like gorillas and a lot of those animals, like bears as well, they're sort of in that same zone of mental capacity similar to dogs. You know, they can be trained, they can be taught, and some of that training and some of that teaching can be, you know, something that's not actually taught, but that they've observed and they pick up through observation. So yeah, I mean that is quite sad. And just on that same note, it's not exactly the same, but similar. I don't know if you've read or noticed that there's a lot of reports or articles coming up about dolphins, and in pockets or areas starting to show quite aggressive nature towards humans, and trying to, like, you know, punch them or like drown them or things like that. I mean, in this, I can't remember where it is in the world, but they've recently give out warnings to parents to be careful and mindful of children in the water because of these dolphins that have started doing like all this kind of trying to pull people under the water and keep them under the water and stuff like that. And it's a very odd behavior for dolphins because they're not usually aggressive or territorial in that way. But, you know, yeah.
It was Borneo, by the way. It was Borneo. They found these orangutans spearfishing.
I think I've seen that on a documentary. Wasn't that on?
I don't know.
It's now that you show that picture, I think I've seen it. Yeah, but it's very, very interesting. Anyway, so getting back, I think we got everybody's answers in. So I think if I'm going from the right place, Kevin started with true, then Maz jumped in with true. You were a direct true. Mickey went fake. Smiler went fake. And yeah, I think that's everybody in. So to end off this month's episode of Real or Fake, the last one, Gorilla Learns to Knit, is 100% fake. Although gorillas are very intelligent and well trained at a lot of things, one of the things that they have not yet learned to do is knit. So there is no known case of gorilla knitting. So if you said fake, give yourself 10 points. So just to go over them, so you can score yourself and give an honest point and share in the chat what points you got. So remember, the first one was NASA installing internet on the moon. Did you say real or fake? Give yourself 10 points. Second one was 8-year-old pulls a medieval sword from a lake.
God damn it.
Third one was a university banned the use of capital letters to avoid scaring students. Oh, no, sorry. That was meant to be the third one, but the actual third one was a couple from California named their baby with emoji. Fourth one was the university banned the use of capital letters to avoid scaring students. Fifth one, German street is covered in chocolate after a leak from a chocolate factory. And then number 6 was spinach is taught to send emails. Number 7, school banned parents from sports day. I think everybody got that one right. And then the last one, Gorilla Learns to Knit. Let us know in chat what points you got. What points do you get, Monty?
Oh, I don't know. I think I lost summarily.
You got the second to last one correct.
This is why I get Maz to count the points, because I can't be doing point count.
So you didn't get the spinach one right. You got the German street covered in, so that was 20.
I got that one right. I got the sword right.
You got the couple from California wrong.
Yeah.
You got the university banned the capital letters right. So
I got that right.
30 points.
Yeah.
You got the
Oh, losing you there a bit.
No, you said real.
Sorry. Oh, right. Sorry, I just lost you there for a bit. Carry on.
40 points you got in the end.
Wow.
Out of a potential 80 points.
Yeah, it was a 50-50. And I think maybe the gorillas just haven't learned to knit yet, you know. They're working on it, you know. They just haven't been around enough knitters.
Yeah, and Kevin said, do our points get converted into pounds, please? Yeah. I wish.
Do you think this website thinks I might like pizza? Whenever I look at news articles, it just surrounds it with pizza. I don't know why that is.
It's very telling, isn't it, really?
I don't know why. Why is that? What does it think about me? Anyway.
No idea.
Do your points get converted to pounds? Or
Yeah.
we wish. If you want to convert them to pounds, simple method. You take your card, you go to a cash point machine, you put in the number of points. Once you've put in your individual
Draw
pin.
it out to treat yourself.
Yeah,
So if you got 50 points, go and draw yourself out £50.
Stick
and
50
spend
into a
it,
cash point
treat yourself
machine.
for the weekend.
You'll get it in pounds. Yep. That's how generous we are.
Well, I hope everybody enjoyed that game of real or fake.
Yeah, it's fun as always, G. Thank you very much. Yeah. So that was it for the show this week or this month. We're now off for a 3-week break, so there won't be any TNG review shows for the next 3 weeks. Incidentally, I am going to be on tomorrow afternoon on Subspace Chatter, talking about the TNG episode of Fistful of Datas. So if you're free at 4:30 tomorrow, head over to Subspace Chatter, and we'll be there talking about Star Trek The Next Generation. But apart from that, we'll be back at the end of August. Date to be confirmed for the next
Yeah,
month.
we're trying to keep it on the last Friday of each month if we can. But yeah, we'll confirm close to the time, but watch out for the last Friday, and that'll sort of sit in well, I think, with return from holiday, won't it, really?
Yeah, we hope
Hopefully,
we
maybe.
hope all you guys who are going out to different places around the world for your summer holidays, I hope you have a lovely time. Yeah.
I'm not going on holiday, Kevin. I'll still be here. My aim goal is to get the first video for BFSI up next week, which is going to be an introduction video where I'm going to talk about what I'm going to, what I'm hoping the channel will achieve. And yeah, so watch out for that one. And I may be getting a vault done this week as well. But I will be spending some of the week down with Monte, hopefully enjoying some sun and chilling out. And yeah, so I've got some time off. But yeah, we'll be back in the end of August. So for now, you guys enjoy the rest of summer. And yeah, look after yourself and stay safe. Thanks to everybody that subscribed on the other channel this evening. Thanks for joining us and participating in all your amazing comments. Some of them were fantastic at the beginning of the show, chipping in with theories, etc. So again, amazing participation, everybody. And yeah, we'll see you next time here on the Monte Zone and in the vault.
Cheers, guys.
Night.
Nanu.
Nanu.